Feel more rather than less. So much of deepening your yogic realization is integrating the sensation of allowing. And don't let allowing just be mental. In fact, the body is going to teach that better than the mind. So as you sit here and you kind of let go of your day and where you got to go, and let the body show you what's happening. So the mind is what does the instructions, but it's consciousness that experiences. As you start to allow, I hope you've been doing enough yoga where you start to quietly and very subtly start to come more into alignment before all the actions. The world craves unity. It craves connection. So do you. Hopefully you're getting to a place where maybe if you got things that are hurting, maybe you're anxious about something, you're trying to get to the place below that. That's way more than just quieting down your mind. And it only comes from allowing. So add some discipline. Start to feel your sitting bones in your feet. As you press down gently with your sitting bones, lift your lower abdomen slightly up so you're differentiating in your base. And then lift up the front of the chest, broaden across the chest, across the back ribs. Balance your head over your neck. Allow, start to follow a drop on the back body from the base of the neck down towards the tailbone. It's soft. And it brings you into balance. You're sitting with alertness in the allowing. Good, and then release, take your sternum up towards your chin, and your chin down over your sternum. So this should exaggerate the drop of the shoulder blades as you lift the sternum. You're not pinching them together, you're hitting them straight, kind of down and bringing them forward as you drop the chin some. So you're trying to get these two actions to intersect each other. Notice the breath in each nostril, into each lung. Stay present in your sitting bones and your feet. The breath will touch wherever your consciousness, not just your mind, is. Let it be so. Notice the inhalation nudging the rib cage. Start to pay attention to more physical stuff now. Raise your head up with closed eyes. Open your eyes. Are you sitting on the floor, changing interlock on your legs? All right, so one of the things about lifting your chest, right, and I want to we're going to kind of go, I hope, start heading towards shoulder stand some. So, but one of the things for a lot of the people in the room, because of the way our bodies are, the lift of the chest is not easy to do, right? So Carol, it's hard, right? So Carol's got to learn how to lift the inner sternum too. So the lift of the chest, even if you can make a little movement, even if you can't fully lift your chest, noticing the difference between what a little movement can do, right? So a little movement here and translating it to your shoulder blades. Take some time to do that a couple times. So it lifts slightly here and then catch it on the inner edge of your shoulder blades, right? Start going back and forth, right? Because this won't lift well alone, right? So you got to figure out how it relates to other things. And the thing I want to get to, well, I'll do that in a second. So what I want is the assistance now, something kind of obvious, but coming over here. So I want everyone to get some input right between the shoulder blades. So one of the things that I like so much, I'm pushing my finger kind of hard and trying to help so it's very easy and very hard for some of us to lift the front of the chest up, right? And I want to explore what would be meant by the instruction of letting the upper thoracic, the place between the shoulder blades in particular, to migrate forward, right? So it's a different sensation. So like Elizabeth here, don't let me push you over, but I'm actually going to push back in my hand some. I'm trying to push those vertebrae forward some while trying to help her stay on balance, right? So, and then I'm going to release. I'm going to start using rhythm to start to break, to help her be able to differentiate when the spine is coming forward and when the shoulders are staying down and back. Right, because the shoulders go down and spread, but the upper thoracic still needs to learn to move forward, right? So what we're doing, we're putting that extra reference here, trying to help her see. I'll take the shoulder blades down more. There you go. Right, so this is migrating forward as this is dropping. So you got multiple layers of the pose, and what ends up happening is a lot of us are just trying to just lift, and you're doing too much of a macro movement, right? And so the reason why I want to go to this subtlety, Carol, is because you won't be able to do the macro movements as well, but you'll be able to do the micro movements, right? Which is a coming forward here, and then a dropping of the shoulders down. That's going to be harder for you. But if you can get a sense of the direction of this going down, right? So everyone get the adjustment where you push in, and you're lifting under the collarbones. So you're trying to coordinate that that there's a lift, a forward, and then a lift. And they're the same, they're like so related to each other. It's like having the lift of I already gave you the language, like have the lift in the chest be caught by the shoulder blades, right? Like there's a back and forth. And then move the finger away and watch the drop. And then here it comes in again. So we're going to make it more rhythmic. In and out. It's, so why don't you do it with her? I'll sneak around this way. Can I get by? Okay. So again, push. There's a push in. Don't let it knock you off balance. So you got to figure that out. And then it goes away. So as you do this rhythm a couple times, right? Which, by the way, is not that far off from sun salutation, right? So it comes in and then it goes away. And then and if you've done that a couple times, now that I want the assistant, then take your hands and show the skin, right? So show the skin. So you push in again, and then you just take the skin and you roll the trapezius, but the skin on the trapezius kind of down the back body, right? So I'm telling you, and part of we're doing this subtlety is because someone's got a scar here that we don't want to do too much, right? So it comes in, and then you're getting this sense of being able to roll the skin down the back body. And then push in again. So the assistants push in, show your shoulder blades stay back, the upper thoracic, maybe goes forward, and then you kind of roll the top layer of skin down the back body. And all these actions go together, right? But they're not actions. It's more of an allowing, right? So you're watching how to take it down. And then go back and forth, keep doing it. And I hope you can tell that when your upper thoracic goes in, can you feel the change in your base, in how you're sitting? This is a really dynamic pranic thing to be able to do well. And it's what Shoulderstand is teaching more overtly over time. And, by the way, the beginning of class, so now then assistants take like this on each side of the top of the top right here, and then pull that down and push in on the between the center of the chest. So you got the skin going down. You're just using two hands to do what we're doing in two different actions. So you're kind of helping the skin go down, and you're pushing between the shoulder blades, right? So you're trying to do both. That action is also the bandha that we actually started in the centering when lifted up and dropped down. In Iyengar Yoga, shoulder stand teaches the beginner how to do this action better and better, right? So there's this comes up, it goes down, then there's another part we're going to do in a second. So make it kind of rhythmic because the rhythm will start to show. So, and now I just want the finger in a little bit harder, and I want you to reconfigure because you've been shown the direction of everything. I want you to feel the finger in and happen around the finger. Yep, start to happen around the finger. There you go. See, that's what I mean. See that, Elizabeth, right there, right? Okay, so now, release for a second. So it gets harder. One of the things that shoulder stand does is it really opens you right here. And so right on the side armpit chest. And so everyone said, as you lift your chest, so there's this action of this going up, this going down, and I've been doing all this one layer of sheath, right? Right? And now I want you to do all that I've been doing, but now I want you to add something. We've been doing kind of this vertical thing, up, down, right? And separate the shoulder blades. Now I want you to expand right here. So the way I think about it is like a shuttered window where the slats, where it's all closed down, and then you open the shutter, the slats, and you can look out the window through the slats. That, like a grill, it needs to open like a grill right here. So now check this out. So you're lifting up, dropping down, and then you're horizontally moving across right here. You're making it horizontal there. As you do that, does anyone notice the shoulder blades go down more? Yeah, this action is being taught in shoulder stand, right? You're learning how to keep this open and while the chest is lifted and the chin is dropped. So now do that and drop your chin. So it adds more muscular action to what was so subtle just a minute ago. And breathe. So remember, this bandha is thought to be one of the most important positions to be in while you're breathing in pranayama. So these actions, and you know, right, pranayama is more important than asana. So if this is important to pranayama, that means it's more important than any asana you're doing. Right? So these actions that seem small, but it's hard to do. Our bodies don't quite know how to do it. So what I want now is an assistance to come in front. So I'd like to when you have your hand behind her back, Amy, will you just push on Carol's shoulders from the front? So we're going to now make it more open, more overt. We're going to push in. You keep your hand between her shoulder blades, right on the back. You got it there? I didn't see it. Okay, so now she's getting open. Take your head back a little bit, Carol, right? Now feel the skin up, back, right. Now your chest is starting to open on the subtle body more, right? And the direction goes down the back body. Now try to support it by opening at the side armpit chest. There you go, open. And that keeps the flow going, right? Good, and then release. So this action that looks like, so we're going to have assistants do that. So you get your shoulders pushed back. Just don't tip Elizabeth over, right? And so you should sit behind her, and someone else should come and push on her shoulders. So Michael, you're like getting the push in, but I want your sternum coming forward as your shoulders are getting pushed back. Could Julie put your hand between his shoulder blades? Mm-hmm. Straighten your head out. Mm-hmm. So go in and up. And then try to open this in every direction. Right there. Yep, that has to open. More horizontal than vertical. More sideways. Yep. Take your head back a little bit. So these things will pay dividend, right? This action changes the flow of prana in your whole body. And that's part of what shoulder stand is trying to teach you to do. All right. And then release. So we've gone through the subtle body, so now everyone down on the floor or up on the mat, except for the people that aren't. You two, right? And we'll keep doing other stuff that is related to what's happening here. Okay, so I liked what you saw before. Are you able to get it down today? Okay, cool. Okay. Do you need help or anything? You got it? All right. All right, so again, so what happens when you come forward a little bit off your backrest? If okay. On their backs. Mm-hmm. So if you put your hand a little farther down, and don't let anything hurt, Carol, right? And then I want to take this back, and with your fingers, you're pushing more, like with the fingertips, yep. And then this goes up. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then release. So, everybody down. So, Amy, would you just mind doing shoulder stand? No. Like get your setup so you can see what we're talking about? So, in the meantime, while she's getting that set up, I want to see it from the side, so your head, you can be looking that way. Keep your head up a little bit, Renee, so you can see what's happening here. What do I want? I want to be able to see. I want you to face your head's on that side, and you're up this way. Yep. Okay, so for you, yeah. I'm just also trying to get length across the skin. We don't want to hurt the incision. Anything hurts on the incision, we stop.
Oh, it's not the incision, it's the tubing.
Whichever. Anything hurts, we stop. Okay, so you're going to see in shoulder stand how Amy's being forced into a position that's actually similar to what we're going to try to go for. You got to remember, the important part of inversions is that, well, there's a zillion important parts. One of the important parts of inversions is that the ability to move energy, instead of drawing it up all the time, being able to move it the other direction. So one of the reasons why shoulder stand is is the queen of yoga poses, is the queen of yoga poses, is it's teaching a very core action, and particularly a very core bandha, where you can see her head is forward, right? If you're to flip her around, her neck is way forward. But look how lifted the side armpit chest is, right? This relationship between, and that's why I was trying to pull the skin. Now she's pushing the skin up this way with her hands, right? And she does a really nice shoulder stand, but the more she opens here and gets that underneath her, that flow we were trying to do while you were sitting up. But what's great about shoulder stand is that because this is opening and she is forced this way with the rest of her energy, right? So this lift is not just feeding up, it's projecting down, which turns out to be up because she's upside down, right? See what I just said? Right, this is a downward energy from the head to the feet that is still from the head to the feet, but it's having to earn by having to go up instead. So it's like, imagine the current got turned up that she has to swim against to get it up. But that trains how to use this energy more and more, right? This pose, when you do it a long time and have fairly loose shoulders, is thought to be an incredibly nourishing pose, right? And it nourishes, it's vibrant, and makes you bring energy to your feet. That's what we're going to go for in each of our poses, right? And try to get you that, and then come on down. So just remember how open this was. So when I was trying to tell you to open it like a shuttered window, I was trying to get you to get some of, and when this opens like a shutter, what happens? This shoulder blade has to go down. So I was trying to recreate it, right? All right, so everyone's on the ground. So lay flat on your back. Well, actually, let me show a quick version of this on Carol. So, Judy, come over here. So do your hand behind there. So you're gonna be in front. Okay. So we're trying to get her to come forward here. Judy's gonna push back on the shoulders, which is exactly what's happening, right? In shoulder stand in terms of the inputs. And then I'm gonna want her to extend. I'm gonna push on her knees. I want you to have this opening, but push down through my knees and down through your knees to your feet. So this opening is asked to go this way, not this way. So I want more awareness through your feet as you're having this come in and your shoulders open. Make sense? Good, and then release. So you two are going to be doing it from a sitting position where you're trying to get this open and figure out how to bring awareness down through your legs instead of just up. Everyone else lay flat on the chair, on the floor. So we'll start out nice for some of you, maybe. So is it possible to stand on that table over her? Okay, so what I want, we just come over here with Trish, Amy, and so the person's going to step over. You're going to push down on her shoulders, right? We're going to try to get this open, and it's just going to feel good. Now, Amy's pushing down and broadening, right? But what I want is you to not just say it feel good, but you try to extend from your back body more down through the floor, through your heels. And then watch when she releases, right? And the direction's kind of lost, and it's going to come again. Here it comes again. And I want you to extend from your backside of your body out through your heels as he's pushing down on your shoulders. Okay, so I want everyone to get that. So we're just trying to get the direction. Okay, and actually, dang it, I'm going to show one more thing. You two are right here together. Do it again. So the second phase of this, and Lindsay, right? Right? So you're going to stand right here, sit right here. So the second phase of this, sit facing her, so you're lined right up like that. So Amy's going to do what she's doing. You're going to do what you're doing, right? Trish, you're trying to open up and extend. And now Lindsay's going to grab underneath the heels and pull out on her heels on the underside. Yep. So she's coordinating those actions. So that's getting pushed down, and she's going out through her legs and breathing, right? So we're first just going to push down, and then the assistants are going to go into teams and do this tag team, right? All right. Partner up. So first you just get and so you're going to go from behind and pull back on her shoulders. Stand behind, do it with both hands, just pull back on her shoulders. And I'm going to pull out on your knees, okay? So pull back kind of hard there. There we go, and I'm going to try to go from underneath. Is that okay? So when you're not just pulling straight back, you're pulling back and this way, okay? So as that starts to open, bring your upper thoracic towards me, not your head, right? And then we're going to coordinate that with a lifted chest, right? That direction. So as your chest lifts, we want it to go this way, like the energy in your body, and then release, and then do it again. We're going to sync up in time, right? Get it that way. So we start to coordinate the lifted chest with movement of awareness down through your legs, okay? So when they're pushing on your shoulders, you're trying to extend from the back body all the way through to the heels. You're trying to coordinate those two directions. All right. This looks good. And then I want the assistants to partner up, and one's doing the shoulders and one's pulling on the heels. So do start here first, yeah? So we're just trying to show you the directions, and we're following a principle of mind enters the body through reference, right? Your mind, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. So, and you get pushed down and you extend out through the back body. And then keep coming up and over the back of your chair as Amy pulls out on your knees, right? You start seeing the direction. Good, and then release, and then one of the teams needs to go help Trish. So again, we're trying to follow the principle that mind enters the body through reference. So we're putting reference. So the thing about, okay, so damn philosophical, it bugs me. But so I want you to see the energy going like that, right? So the front body's, the skin of the front body's getting pushed down by the shoulders, and then you're going down the back body out through the heels, right? So you're starting to do that. All right, and then release. But so the mind enters the body through reference. And so, okay, even as Elizabeth is sitting here, right? Because prana is moving in every direction at once, this is already happening, right? Especially in the position because of the way the lumbar spine. So what we're doing is giving reference so the mind can follow something that's happening, which is going to be really important for you, because if you have to initiate it, you're going to have a hard time because you don't have the movement. So we're trying to get you to get enough imprints so you can follow something more, as opposed to having to assert it with your will, right? And so just know what we're trying to, so what's going to happen when Amy was upside down, when she was up on her shoulders, right, with this open, it was actually going like this. A lot of, in shoulder stand, you bring the tailbone in and the top of the thighs back in opposition. There's a whole back body presence because your hands are on your back, right? So now what I want is to grab belts. Assistants, grab a belt. We're just gonna like start making the upper thoracic or helping the upper thoracic come forward. So whoever's gonna help Elizabeth here, grab a belt. You're gonna fold it in half. So you got more rather than less. The thing is, you're gonna take the belt and you're gonna put it underneath. So give me the belt, right? You're gonna take this belt. We're gonna ask Elizabeth to put it underneath. Get it underneath there, underneath the on the bottom edge of the shoulder blades. So, right? And so Bethany, you're gonna step over. You're gonna grab both sides of the belt with your hands. Well, we want it folded if possible. It'll be better if this were folded. Can we like, yeah. If it reaches, I'm hoping it reaches, right? So if we can get that to go all the way under and across and have enough for Bethany to be able to pull on. Okay, there you go. So grab the sides of the belt. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is we're gonna actually really try to pull up here. So this is gonna happen to you too, but forward a little bit. So Bethany, you're gonna bend your knees, protect your back, right? Pull straight up, well, not quite straight up, pull up a little bit at that angle, right? So, yep, pull up, pull up, pull up. You feel that, you can feel that, right? Now that your groins, as that rises, you still have to extend out through your heels and drop your inner upper thigh and extend it out through your heels. So you're getting the input of having that lifted, and you're extending out through your legs. And then release, and you're gonna do it 3 times, because they want to have some rhythm to it. Here it comes again, and watch it again. And get better at following it. Extend out through your legs. And if anyone tells you you're imagining this, you're not. This is prana moving, and then release. And then again, so you ask for a lifted chest, right? Just happen to sync up with what's good for Sue, too. And then extend. And so you've done it 3 times, and so we on it, everyone. So I would do it, actually, more from this side, okay? And let's fold the belt up in half. So it's doubled, so then there isn't as much play in the belt, and put that underneath there.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
No, it's not wrong. But what you'll find is you have better leverage because your hands aren't so far up. So you're gonna get it underneath. Right, get underneath, yep, and you're gonna, yep. So now you get a different pull, and you'll get a different experience, right? Because you can get that, a little bit higher, a little higher, yep. Good intuition, right? And now I want you to take that and extend out through your heels. So now you get the extra help. See, now the advantage, why I was telling you to fold the belt, which you compensated some for by folding it into your hands. The belt, when it's doubled, gives you double the surface area on the back body, but then it makes your pull so you're not getting too much give in the belt. So fold it in half again and put it underneath Michael again. So it's like you got it folded. So now, those of you that have had this adjustment, give yourself a break. Now I want the people on the floor and the people in the chair, bring your elbows in by your sides, turn your palms towards your face. Okay, yep, my elbows on the ground. Like this, like that. Yeah, right? Right? Now, I want you to hit down with each elbow and lift onto the ground. And so what's underneath there? Is there a ground down there? I help her get down to the ground. Hit down with both elbows and lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. Yeah? Down and lift. I wouldn't mind help her shoulder down, right? Down and lift. All right. So now I want this action to occur with your feet up on a chair. So find a way to put a chair. Bolster works good for Renee. Scoot that way then. Yes, and I want, I like you tipping back like that, right? We just got to figure out how to, so I want them to be doing this, and you pulling out on their, what do you think, the back of their knees? Yeah, so they're getting that action and movement. Yep. And then eventually, what we might then do if we got another person would be to touch on her sacrum, right? So then she got the connection between the two. Because if you're getting pulled here and here, right, my sacrum goes blank, right? So any touch there all of a sudden makes the energy go through it. Yep, right. And so the touch all of a sudden connects the dots, right? All right, so now, legs straight, yeah. We're pulling up on the belt. Yeah, you're going upside down, Trish. That's what I'm thinking, right? So just watch here for a second. So the idea here, Lindy's pulling up on the belt, lifting the chest. She's hitting down with her elbows, and now her legs are in the air. And I want her to extend upwards from this position. And then in a second, we're going to put a block or a blanket under Trish's rear end to start to get the reference in on the sacrum, right? And then release. This should be work. Is it being too easy? Yeah. Are you lying to me? You're telling me the truth, right? Good. Right? So, can you? Yeah, I want them straighter. Yep. So, can your elbows hit down on the ground? Dude, hit down there and lift your sternum up. Don't take your butt off the ground. Keep your butt on the ground, for God's sakes. Yeah. So do you have any neck pain ever? Okay, so in this, when we go farther into this pose, I'm going to want the blanket not under his head. And I think we should almost, because you guys can, he's a wisp of a fellow, I think we should actually pull him up almost into shoulder stand. Because you guys can probably do it. He's not that heavy. So we're just going to get him to see if we pull him up too fast, right, where he doesn't feel all the actions, then he's just like getting pulled up out of nowhere, right? So if he can start build, and then when we start to lift his tailbone off the ground, like what he was just doing, we'll just kind of follow it a little bit farther and have him go up a little farther, right? Right? But I don't want the blanket under his neck because I don't want him to be forced too far this way. So now you're on the blanket, you're going. You take that side, I'll take this side, okay? Bring your tailbone up towards the ceiling. There you go, start doing it yourself. Bring it up, hit your elbows down. Hit them into the ground. And then release. We're gonna give you a break again, we're gonna do it again. Ready? Elbows are hitting both into the mat. Tailbone up, tailbone up, tailbone up. Remember those shades opening right here, right there. What? It's totally hard work. I want to watch here. You grab one side of the belt, I'm grabbing the other. So what kind of, you can move your legs some, right? Okay, so we're going to go up a little more than you're used to. Now lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. Up. There you go. Hit down with your elbows. There you go. Up. And then release. And do it again. I'm going to get a better position. Yeah, just take the blanket out. Okay? So we're going to go, and you're going to lift your tailbone up. Up. Sure, a little bit. Don't cheat.
Stable.
And then release. Okay, so now, what? So I want a block under your rear end, or at least a couple of blankets. So you're doing that. Do that again, and I'm going to pull out on her hips, on her knees, right? Right? So you can hit your elbows down. Yep, to lift your chest. Take your head back a little bit. There you go. Mm-hmm. And then release. So now we're going to come back in as like a symphony. We're going to come in rhythm. Here we go again. Mm-hmm. And then release. And one more time. I like this. Does this feel good at all?
Yeah.
And then release.
My back.
Yeah. But beyond the stretch, when you sit, when it's all done, do you feel kind of a buzzing hum in your body a little bit?
Yeah, I feel more erect.
Yeah. Kind of a weird kind of that erect kind of little kind of lightness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what is what you're after. So it is time, Mr. Magoo. Your neck's okay, right? Okay, we're going to lift him up a little bit. So you kind of stand up with them, right? Now say anything about your neck that is weird, okay? Okay, so now, that's far enough. That's far enough. Hit down with your elbows and lift your sternum up. Yep. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. Good, and then release. So the next time you guys could almost do that alone. When you lifted, JD, you just kind of put your shin right into his tailbone, right? Yep. That's all I did was push on his sacrum. Yep. So he all of a sudden gets that, because otherwise, if you're not in a straight line, what happens is the energy gets, you think about this, because it's not a straight line, it breaks up, right? Yep. And it's not that it has to go straight. It's just that his mind, his consciousness has to make the connection between the two crooked points, right? So I pushed on the sacrum because then his consciousness went, whoa, it goes through here and up, right? It's not just jumping from the up and the lift. It's like you're putting the middle dot in a right? If you can, yeah. And just go slow, because if he barks, we don't want his neck to get funny, right?
No barking.
No barking if it hurts, but you don't yeah. So I think in a second, so you feel everything, right? So if this was too hard on your tailbone, you would know, and if not, we could put a sticky mat on it, right? Or a block, right? Yeah. But what I want to do is you to take her legs, hold her legs, and get her legs go up a little bit, right? So they're not so at this angle; they're just at this angle. I just think it's a better idea. Yeah. Okay. What? That is correct. So I'm a little bit too high up, but what I want to get is the relationship between you hitting back, so release your shoulders, and then engage, and then engage him, and I'm going to pull at the same time, so we start to get a rhythm, right? So then, now take your head back a little bit, yeah, and then release, and I'm going to push back in, you collapse, right? So we're just going from into more open space, right? Right. That's why we're doing it. Actually, this is classic because we talked. It also mapped onto what Elizabeth asked for too. So it's good. Two of you wanted the same thing, right? All right. So now, I have no idea what time it is. Okay. And then release it. So let's just take, do you guys get a couple of those in? Right. Not yet. Now, what I'd like, are you worried about the block? Does the block hurt at all? You're good? Okay. What happens if a blanket or two goes under his sacrum? Like the blanket goes not under his head, goes underneath his midsection, the middle third of his body. Let's do it. Let's have him go up some. Oh my goodness, you should, let's even do like another blanket or fold the blanket up and put another half blanket underneath or something, because he can go higher. So straighten your legs out. And you're really confident. See, I don't have sensation, so you're confident about your sensation, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, good. All right, so I want you to belt her legs. So she's doing Sasetu Bandha, right? And so is it safe for you to scoot out a little bit on the chair and lean back like this? I don't want you to fall. Scoot your butt out a little bit. Okay. So if you're okay with it, when you do what you're going to do, I'm going to put my hand right at your sacrum and kind of push in on it. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay. So you're going to hit back into your chair, lean back into your chair, and I'm just going to remind you about where your hip. Can you lean all the way back to your chair? All the way back to your chair, right? And so, yep. Let's not let the chair tip over.
Oh.
Okay, so, and then release for a second. So in fact, that's tipping enough where I'm going to have someone hold the chair. Hey, Lindsay, could you come here for a second? Okay, so you're going to stand and just hold the chair because it's beginning to tip as we're doing it, right? So she's going to come up. You're going to make sure the chair doesn't tip. There you go. This is good. Make sure it doesn't tip. Are you holding it in this way? Good, and then release. So you want to make sure the chair isn't going to go. Kneel down for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be like you holding
Pressing
it
it down?
this way. So no, it can come off the ground.
Okay.
You just have to make sure there's no way it's going over.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. One more time. Right? There you go. Now, this is awesome, right? Good, and then release. Is anything hurting here?
No.
Okay, and not too much stretch here, you're good? No. So now I want your arms on the outside. As I do that again, you're going to roll your inner upper arm out, right? So here we go again. Hey, check this out. This is like bridge pose. This is actually pretty good, right? This is a pretty good Urdhva actually. Good, and then release. So as long as the chair doesn't tip over, that's the tricky thing. That's why Lindsay was there holding it. Oh. What are you saying to me? You dizzy? He said, ooh, what was that for?
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, wow, whatever. That's what yoga is for. Do you think, Trish, you could go up on another blanket? Now, you don't need to. We're going to have the legs go down straight. We're going to do Setu Bandha. So belt her thighs, right? So, Michael, if this is like a walk in the park. Yeah. No, I'm actually thinking, how much higher can you go? So, I don't know. Shove that block in there. I want to see it underneath them. But if it hurts, we're not doing it. Like, you got to get out of it right away. And then lay your legs back down. Is that too much on your hip flexors? But even if his legs are up on a chair, I like this, right? Shit, man. Whoops. Shouldn't cuss. This is like really good, Michael. What? Yeah. So this is something that I think Michael should be doing with some regularity, right? Does it feel okay? But you got to ask, and Michael, pay attention, and if it's really sore tomorrow. I don't want to, this is a big stretch, right? Right, so he's young, he can do everything, and then tomorrow or the next day he might pay. So we don't want to hold him here too long. Yeah, so like take out I love this, but take out the block now. Mm-hmm. So I wish I had understood what one of my teachers said to me when I was in this position. And he was pretty extreme, so. But he looked at me in this position and said, every day. He's telling me to do it every day. Now, that's not real. We don't want to be there too long. That's what he was saying. And this, well, let's not do it too long then. But like this length, he never explained to me or helped me understand that, and you already made the connection to your wheelchair, that this length and also keeping this lift of your chest and going out through your legs while you have support at your tailbone, right? So now press down with your elbows again, pump, right? And go down through your legs, right? That's a good action. But let's get off of this now because it's a big stretch. You're going to feel it maybe. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what I have found the hard way is that when really good things start happening, if I get greedy with them, I pay. And the bad part, it's not that the pay is so bad, what I have to pay for, right? What's bad about it is then I get afraid to do it again. So it's not just, you're doing something bad neurophysiologically, it's going to be hell, right? It's that you want to be able to never push so far that you're afraid to keep doing it some, right? And so it's hard to do on your own, but you can even do it in your bed. You can get something, the more you can kind of get where this is open and the energy is being directed to your legs. So there's a difference between doing this and doing it in your chair because the energy is not getting to your legs as well. This brings it right to your legs, right? Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. So now I would like with Trish here, assistants to look at the pose and pull here with Trish, I'd want the heels to be pulled out some and the thighs rolled in some, right? So now you hit your shoulders down, right? Hit it down. Mm-hmm. So this kind of length in Setu Bandha. So here, let's all tag team here for a second. Amy, come here for a second. Oh, you've already done it once. I'll be here in a second. So I don't want you to do Urvidyanurasana, but I want you to I'll pull out on our knees. You pull back on our shoulders and put your knee, whoever it is, I don't care. Pull your knee into her sacrum. So, actually, Amy, will you do it? Because I'm stuck between mats here. Pull out on her knees. So, knee into sacrum. So, don't try to lift up this time. Just experience it this time, right? So, pull out on her knees on the backside. So, James, could you go off to the side here or over here? Over here, because I'm going to have you help her in a second. So remember, Sue, you're trying to move energy from your head to your feet. It's called apana, and it's just a good thing. So I want this to be more restorative than the Urvidyanurasana thing that we did, right? All right, so you go behind her, James, and pull back on her shoulders, and I'm going to, again, pull this way, and you're going to try to open around your chair. I'm just going to jiggle a little bit because it actually feels good to me. Does it feel good? I like when it. And then lengthen. Take your head back a little bit. Take your head back. Yep. Can your chair tip back anymore? Tip it back a little bit more. Is that going to give you enough room back there? I like that. Right there's good. Okay, so again, we're just going to have just pull you back. We're going to open. You're going to get the energy going this way. Try to take your head back and lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Hard, impossible to do, but something to see. Right? Good, and then release. All right, so, and people on the floor, knees up into your chest and over to the right. We're going to do a little twist. Does that feel good up there? So, I'm worried how long have you been up like that? Let's get it out, yeah. Because I think it's probably fine, but I was telling Elizabeth, when something feels good and I get gritty with it, I pay too big a price, and then I'm afraid to do it again. And you don't want to be, this is good. Getting this kind of reference on your spine is good with your shoulders open, but we don't want you to stay there too long. Twist, yep. So take your right hand, yep. So you guys are twisting. You're twisting out through the back arm, Trish. Mm-hmm. Mind if I adjust your rib cage? Can I touch your rib cage? So some people like this adjustment, some people don't. If you're one of the don'ts, just say no, okay? Because it can feel good if I get it right. It can feel really good, and sometimes it just is too constricting, right? Do you feel a relief go through your body? Well, it's not bad at least, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yep. Yeah, so what it does is this is the intersection of the subtle body and the physical body, and so I'm bringing it back to midline so it can go out through your limbs better. There, like that. That's what it's doing. Okay. So this is one of those adjustments that some people like, some people don't. Right? So Bethany, we do it to Trish. You're going to take your legs the other way. You're going to push down on her rib cage a little bit with your hand. I'll get in there and show you. This is hard for me this way, but so you're going to, can you put your legs the other way just for me to show it? So, and Trish, you got to be in charge of bend knees, put your legs the other way. And then take your arms off to the side. So notice the direction of my hands. I'm getting like this way, and can the legs go over it all? Does that hurt? Okay. I'm just going to, like that. I'm just bringing it. So you see how my fingers, I'm just like going like that. And some people don't like it. Does it feel good or not? Okay. So it's a, you can do it on the hip too, like Amy's doing. We didn't do that. I didn't adjust you this way, right? I did it the other way. I did this side, didn't I? Okay. So the other adjustment, you might like this one better. Put my hand on your hip. Like you can do that too. Okay. You can do it on the hip too, because like Elizabeth likes it better on her hip. So the hip can work better too. So let's go the other way. So why don't you do the adjustment on her hip? She likes the hip better. And then so take that hand outside, this hand outside your leg. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to, as you twist, I'm just going to support you right there. Mm-hmm. And then release and prepare for Savasana. So then go the other way. I'll try to get behind you here. Renee, what are you feeling right now? Kind of open, lighter, buzzing, longer and taller. That's a good feeling. Michael, how's your low back? Anything feel fine? And nothing's like nothing's barking. Okay. Yeah. How about you, Trish? Anything like you feel like any pain in your back or anything? You good? It's all good. That's a lot of weird movement, right? You're not used to making. No one is, right? So, if I'm glad it's feeling okay now. All right, so now it's time for Savasana. The great descent of the back body into the floor. The release. The trust. It takes a second. There's always more. And that's one of the things you learn to accept in Shavasana. From inside to out. So you let the back body settle into the floor. There's a slight sense of like rising or levitation, but not off the floor. It's the dimension inside of you. Stay connected. Reference again to help your body allow your mind to let go. So, center of each ankle, each knee, each hip, each shoulder, elbow, wrist. Emptiness in there. Mind dissolving. Let go. Soften around the temples. Let the forehead gently move towards the eyebrows. Soften the jaw. Relax the belly to relax the throat. And soften the inside of your mouth. Let your mouth get deep, like a cave. Feel your breath. Don't change it.
Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on your notifications.